I made an AI image of Mr. Pickles as Baby Yoda. Oh, yeah. He looked awesome. All right, I'm going to have to put that up here somewhere. All right, anyway. All right. Hey, Internet. It's Paul. It's Matt. The Dork Lords. We're here today talking about The Mandalorian. Season 3, Episode 2. The Mines of Mandalore. We open, as so many Star Wars shows do, on Tatooine. Mando heads to his old mechanic friend, Amy Sedaris, Peli Moto, to find a computer chip to fix IG-11. It's Bunta Eve, meaning that some new future evil overlord-to-be is about to win a pod race. Just keep an eye on anyone who wins a pod race on Tatooine. That's all I'm saying. Peli and the Jawas don't have the part, but she pawns off R5 on Mando. And yes, it's that R5 from A New Hope. Repaired motivator and all. Mando accepts. And as the Bunta Eve fireworks go off, Mando, Grogu, and R5 head for Mandalore. We end with Mando bathing in the waters of the mines of Mandalore.
Don't you mean drowning?
That's what I say. He realizes a little too late that it's really not bright to wear plate mail in a pool that's hundreds of feet deep. Bo-Katan rescues Mando from drowning, but in the process swims past a thought long extinct mythosaur creature at the center of Mandalorian history. Paul,
Yes.
what'd you think of episode 2?
On a scale of 1 to 10, 6.5.
6.5. All right. That sounds like a Met Plus.
Yeah.
All right.
It all looks good, and
Does look good.
I like Katie Sackhoff, so Bo-Katan appearing is and she was doing slightly more than lounging. So
She was.
That was
Started
good.
lounging, but finished strong. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it was you in previous seasons who wondered, exactly how smart Din is, and there were things that made me wonder exactly how smart he is in this episode.
What's one of those things?
One of those things is, just go out there, you'll be all right.
You're talking to, like, when he sends R5 out there? Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, if nothing survived on the planet, then he should be just fine. Yeah. I should note, I think I've even mentioned this, I think this might have come up in season 2 as well, but I should note that, you know what the Mines of Mandalore reminds me of, Paul?
Uh-oh.
That's right. The Mines of Moria. Boo, 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 because everything goes back to Lord of the Rings. You got the same alliteration, same once vibrant civilization dependent on mining very rare metallic substances, Beskar and Mithril. Both now, these societies filled with horrific creatures. Both have very dangerous pools of water. In fact, you could say they both have watchers in the water, since we see the Mythosaur's eye staring at Bo-Katan. And Bo-Katan, much like Boromir, calls the place a tomb. This is no mine. It's a tomb. Boom. Anyway, there you go. So everything comes back to Lord of the Rings. I do feel like there is I don't think I'm grabbing at straws to say there's a Mines of Moria feel about the Mines of Mandalore. Anyway, all right.
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I figured you were. were, so I just say it for you.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it would have pained me to have to say it.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I do have to give the show this too. This episode, they did not draw out the plot. I mean,
No.
I legit thought this was going to be a late season achievement. Bathing in the waters. No, mission accomplished. I'm like, the show's over. I took it as Mando's armor pulled him down. Did he get dragged? I didn't see anything pulled him.
I've heard people say something about him getting dragged, but it's not like she had to fight anything to get him out of there.
Right. I feel like it's just like there's a drop off in the pool.
Right.
He
Yeah.
thought,
I kind of feel like there was a
pool.
hole. I feel like there was a hole.
Yeah. This pool must be 3 feet deep. Oh no!
Either that or it's like you thought it'd be easy to bathe in the
right.
pool.
It's got to be a thing.
It's actually not easy.
And so I guess also having seen now episode 2, I think at least myself, maybe collectively we have to maybe revise some of our comments from the episode 1 recap.
Why do you say that?
3 things. First, we wondered aloud if IG-11 is trying to attack him as soon as they turn on. Why not just move on? Like, is IG-11 any more trustworthy than any other droid at this point? Just get over your droid phobia. Well, damn it, he did. He says, fine, I'll take R5.
It's like,
okay.
It's like, why did you even need that? Makes you wonder if he's not going to, it's like, we found a memory chip or something other than, he could have had any reason to go to
good point. Just find another reason to go to Tatooine or whatever.
Yeah. It's like, I know. You wanted to show what happened to him. We know we thought he was dead, but now
they resolved it very fast. Again, that's how they move the plot. But it's just like scratch off pointless side quest. I give them credit, like move on. But so obviously there's.
Oh, you give them credit? I ding them for even bringing it up.
Okay, great point. They did. They brought it up. I feel like IG-11 plays a part somehow in this season, and that's why they brought him up in the first place. But he obviously his point is not, oh, it's the only droid I can trust, so I have to have him. Like, oh, okay, I'll just go with R5. Like, okay, all right. Fine, okay, good, yay!
And it's like, I can't take what do you call them, a mech droid?
Yeah, right, yeah.
I can't take that. Oh, but you can, though. Oh,
yeah. Okay. I know. It felt like it was just like a 180-degree turn. Oh, all right. Well, if Pelimoto says it's fine,
but
I'll just
what
do
if
that.
you can?
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, I'm just revising, because I was this must be a big thing.
What knocks it down to 6.5 for me, though, is I'm starting to get a little sick. Everybody else is all goo-goo for Grogu, but I am getting a little tired of that little thing. It's like,
you're getting tired,
everybody's talking to him, of course, because he's a little
When you say that little thing, you're saying the actual character.
I said, everybody else is Grogu for Grogu. I'm not.
Goo-goo for Grogu. All right.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not Goo-goo for him. I am, it's like everybody's, it's like, go save us. And a little, kid flies the ship there. And she's like all impressed. What? He just jumped into a ship and said, drive, robot, and the robot drove. You really need the Force to do that. I mean, geez, Louise.
Do you live on a mountain overlooking Whoville, Paul? Or is your heart 3 sizes too small? It's Grogu! All right, but but that was actually, you were leading into my second revision, because in our last recap, we were noting how at 50 plus years of old, Grogu's essentially still like pebbles from the Flintstones, like but here, I mean, as much as you just downplayed it,
so that's good.
He undertakes a very difficult, dangerous mission to save Mando. I mean, he's not just instinctively using the Force. He has to comprehend Mando's instructions. Yes. He has to find his way back out of the caves, escaping deadly creatures on the way. Yes. He has to communicate effectively with R5 and then Bo-Katan, and then lead Bo-Katan back through the caves.
That's another thing that I'm like ticked off about. It's like I suddenly realized how much of Star Wars from the very beginning has been like, let me have a conversation with somebody, and only the character knows exactly what the other character is saying. What this?
I mean, right. That is a trope and a half for sure. Yeah.
And it's like, it's like just another. I'm starting to think it's just an example of bad writing. Like, how much of that happened in fucking Andor? It's like, they thankfully that little the little droid in that one, you could tell what he was saying. It was simplistic, but you could tell what he was saying.
Well, I think it's also like it's almost like a slap in the face, also to those creatures that talk in an alien language. That the person who knows their language never talks to him back in their language. So he's like, oh, yeah, so you're saying this.
Right.
Like,
and that's the thing that I liked about this one was Peli actually did speak in that language.
That's a great point. She talks back to Jawas in Jawa.
Yeah, she goes, thank God. I wish more people did that.
Take it back to, like, for instance, Mando uses the sign language with the sand people and stuff. So
right.
There is a little bit of that. But I hear your point. Yeah. How do you understand anything Grogu's saying?
And, Yoda can speak. So why can't, why... Yep. By this time, still can't say anything at all. Jeez, fucking Louise.
But I'll just say this: he demonstrates in this episode that he is not an infant, right? Like he actually takes on a task and completes it.
Or when he flies up and Bo-Katan is there, and she's like, "What happened?" And then she's like, "Get the information from the droid, because I don't know what the hell this little kid is saying."
That's true. She did say that, didn't she? She's like,
yep.
"Oh, get the information." Yeah. She just interpreted from his eyes and his cute demeanor and the fact that Mando's not there.
And then all these like extended conversations about, what it used to be. Oh, here's what it used to be. Oh, our family used to be. And to me, I would like them to take another pass at that dialogue there. Okay. There were some nice bits in there, like, what are you looking at? But
I will say this is my third revision from the previous recap, and this is more of a me thing than a you thing. I'm calling it right now. Paul, maybe for the first time ever, you were right. I was wrong. It's never happened. Anyway. No, we were talking about whether Mando is ultimately going to be the leader of Mandalore. You said no, essentially, and I said maybe. I'm going to revise that to no.
Why?
Because I think there were clear indicators this episode that Bo-Katan will be the new leader of Mandalore.
What do you think those are? Because I've heard some people wonder whether or not there will be, that Din might want to be, or might, get propelled
I hear that,
into.
and that's kind of where I was coming down last week. Mm-hmm. I feel like this episode is setting that stage, though. So here, she reminds us.
What was it? Her seeing the mythological beast? Is
yes,
that what turned you?
That definitely has one of the factors, because she sees it. He doesn't. Right. Notably, Mando's not like, oh, look, it's the mythosaur. She sees it.
Right.
She reminds us that she was a leader for a short time of Mandalore. She tells Mando that her father died defending Mandalore, which makes an impression on Mando's like, this is the way.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, good, I get to say it again this hour.
Yeah, right. We see that she's much more skilled with the Darksaber than he is. And then I think the implication being, this thing is this badge of leadership, that she is metaphorically more cut out for the role of leader, I think is what that's trying to tell us. And even though she saves Mando's life twice in this one episode, and in doing so uses the Darksaber, she doesn't take it. She shows that she's more honorable than ambitious, essentially. She's like, look, you were unconscious and I saved your life. Kind of by some version of that code,
this thing that I want. Here you go. Here it is back again.
Yep. But she
maybe she stick around. Just you think she should like let him get eaten, and then just take it. She said that would have solved so many problems for her.
I know.
She should just let him get roasted, and devoured.
Right. If she'd have let him die,
I'll come back in an hour.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Or she could have just said, you know what? I'm going to take this. You go ahead with what you're doing.
Right, so it shows again, as I say, she is an honorable person. There was a lot of ways that she could have gotten that saber in this episode and felt somewhat justified in having it, and she doesn't take the bait on that, basically.
No, that's true, she doesn't.
And she does see the mythosaur, as you pointed out, and it's not Mando. And so I feel like this quest, which she wasn't going to undertake, she was just going to lounge on her couch, but finding out the Mandalore is habitable, seeing this living mythosaur, and I think seeing Mando, who, while not growing up on Mandalore, deeply believes in Mandalorian culture. I think there's this kind of a counterpoint between them as they walk along, where he's got the helmet on, and he's like, this is the way, and she's kind of a guy, get this little, like, okay, look about her, but I feel like all this has served now to inspire her to help maybe bring back Mandalore, now that she knows, this planet is habitable, and anyway, I feel like that's the arc, that's the trajectory that we're on, that Mando is going to now also, because he realizes, oh, she used to be the leader and her father died defending Mandalore, that he's going to help her, he's probably going to be popular. He's probably going to be a guy that a lot of Mandalorians can rally around, and he will direct that popularity toward Bo-Katan. Now, the only obstacle is this dark saber, I would say. And so I feel like here's my theory on how that could go down. Mm-hmm. We still have Moff Gideon out there. Now, he was our main villain for 2 seasons. Sure. He's been imprisoned, but I think there's a rumor that he is in this season somewhere. So let's assume for a second, Moff Gideon, who knows how important the saber is to the Mandalorians, he's going to devise a plan to get it back from Mando. I think he'll do that successfully in some way, and that will leave Bo-Katan. She'll be free to swoop in, do whatever the hell she wants to Moff Gideon, claim the saber, probably fend off a mythosaur, and become the ruler of Mandalore. So that's what I'm thinking happens probably last episode of Season 3. There you go.
Okay.
Theory. Okay. Any thoughts on that at all, or has anything changed for you since you last?
No, because I don't know. Nobody's been to that planet in a long time, and no one thought to go there until now. It's just like, oh well, of course it's poison.
Which seems pretty far fetched, frankly, but okay.
Yeah. Or just shows you again how limited they are in their thinking.
I mean, we don't know exactly how long that it's been that Mandalore has been destroyed. It's been somewhere between 5 and 10 years. It's been years.
Right, sure.
And no one's bothered to check the atmosphere in that time. I mean, those Morlock things, the Alamites, I think is what they're called. She mentions, oh yeah, they live on the outskirts of the town, and they're native to Mandalore, meaning they're still alive. They never died out. There was never.
And here's the thing
the atmosphere is
about
unusable.
Them is, it's like they're not giving any humanity at all.
They aren't. You're right. I'm like, wait, are these like cousins of the Mandalore? No, it doesn't look like it at all.
No, they don't. They're just things to be killed. That's all.
They were things to be killed.
Monstrous creatures. That's like, come on. It occurred to me that wow, she just told all the Mandalore, hey, come on, let's try to build this thing up and let's improve it and everything because we can breathe. But what I would prefer is Bo-Katan to be like, hey, let's start something with these Alamites.
Right, and maybe that's
there you go.
That's
like,
coming.
Hey, you like some of these helmets? That many strewn helmets on the ground? Huh? Maybe you want to wear some.
I mean, their heads are a little big. They may have to reshape those things.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. She could, maybe encourage that. The one who is the way. She can encourage her to come to beat larger helmets for these creatures.
That's right. The armor. I think if you have to look at it story-wise, what they're suggesting is the Empire just put out the propaganda that the place was uninhabitable, and then everybody just believed it. Nobody bothered to check. I guess, right? I mean,
or just there was a shorter half-life for that poison than perhaps they knew.
But that's my point. If the Morlock guys didn't die, I mean, they didn't because they didn't take off in ships, fly away, and then come back. No. They lived on that planet the whole time. So that planet, it was never not habitable.
Right.
So anyway, it's like, oh man, all right, guys, thanks, Mando, you did a big service. And this is a little bit of silliness, but it did occur to me that in a different show, if the Mandalorian had a version of like Better Call Saul, essentially, and Mando's like this ultimate entrepreneur, he could set up this awesome gig. So all right, here's Mando's commercial jingle.
This is your pitch.
This is my pitch. Have you recently had reason to remove your helmet? Or did you have no reason at all and just thought, hey, I'm tired of sweating in this thing? If so, then this is the way for you. For one seemingly expensive fee, you can literally wash your sins away. Our package covers daily shuttles to and from Mandalore, a guide and optional armed escort to lead you to the sacred waters, and your own monogram towel. Throw away that old helmet and never be an apostate again. I should know, I'm not only the president, I'm also a client. Repeat customers welcome. Void in some voids. Bing, bing, bing. Money machine. And now he knows about the drop off, so he just puts a little plastic shelf there, so you don't fall down. You know.
Yep. There you go.
There you go. And then everybody can just walk over.
Or that could be just part of it. You know, it's like keep walking. Whoa, okay. And you just put some ropes on them, and you can pull them back up after they sink.
Oh, that's right.
Know.
Yeah.
So,
put this handy rope around yourself.
That's just a part of the ritual. You know.
Yeah, so we just replaced the ritual of always wearing your helmet with the ritual of coming here every week to bathe in the waters. And I reap the benefits. Anyway. No, but okay, so one thought. Let's assume for a second that Mando is not destined to become leader of Mandalore. Then how do we see him? I don't know. What do we see the end game then for Mandalore? We may not even see that this season, but what do we see as Mandalore or Mando and Grogu?
I'm talking about the series finale.
Yeah, well, I don't. I guess that's what I'm saying. Like, if he's not destined to be the leader.
Yeah, I never thought he was. So I mean, I don't know why he wouldn't just
keep doing adventures
from town to because it's not like Grogu was ever going to grow up. So he'd just be watching him until he croaks.
I mean, one thought is they did Apollo Creed, Grief Karga brought out the idea. Hey, you could just Navarro, you could just take a patch of land, and you could stay here. Theoretically, he and Grogu could settle down at some point, but I don't see that anytime. That's not a season 3 thing.
No,
but he could settle down to a peaceful life of farming, and then
he hasn't yet renounced his beliefs, right? So presumably he would, if
live on
Mandalore live on Mandalore with his little Mandalorian tribe, since he is now going to be a good boy and never take off his helmet.
Right. You saw him again. He's trying to drink the Mandalorian drink that he never had before, but with the helmet on. Like, he's struggling. You can't even just pull the helmet back over your lips.
That's another business, like another Mandalorian straw. Here you go.
Yeah. Did the Mandalorian tech, which has like rocket boosters and giant, grenades and all these cool little light show things. They didn't have a straw. There's not like a straw built into the wrist. They're like, thank you.
Yeah, that's what they should have, like in his arm,
right?
Like and like shoot out a straw so you can.
I mean, we're laughing, but yes, right? I mean, like if your whole thing is I have to wear a freaking helmet all the time,
they could even be
strong
fancy,
technology.
With like parasols and shit,
I like it. Yes, they hand out Shirley Temples.
Yeah.
All right, so sounds like you liked this episode slightly better than episode 1.
Yeah.
All right, so we're on an upward trajectory, Paul.
Sure.
Here we go. All right, anyway,
sure.
So we'll be back talking about episode 3. So come on back for that. Thank you as always, Paul. Appreciate it, good sir.
No problem.
And we'll talk to everybody next time.
All right.
Bye.